Hi, I am Yusuf Adamu, and I'm here to share with you a little things about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is what governs the world today. Believe me or not, anywhere you go today in our society, you'll be hearing of entrepreneurship. So, what I'm here right now to let you know is some little things you need to know about entrepreneurship, and I think it will go a long way for you to try to make a difference in our society today. So, the preoccupation of man is production, and man really needs things to survive. So human needs or wants are unsatisfiable, and this production we're talking about, you need some resources to ensure that this production comes to its end. So now, what am I trying to say? Production has factors. Now we have the factors of production, which are land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. So these factors of production are what comes together to ensure that production got to its own finished products. And these factors of production, as I earlier mentioned, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Some scholars suggest that we have just three factors of production, that we have land, labor, and capital. And their reason is that they say entrepreneurship shouldn't be part of the factors of production. Why? Because they said it involves human effort, and as such it should be part of labor. But some other scholars like Alfred Marshall suggested that entrepreneurship should not be part of the three factors of production, and that entrepreneurship should be recognized as a separate entity. Reason being that entrepreneurship performs a special function to ensure that these three factors of production are put together into meaningful use. Now, we said entrepreneurship. We've been mentioning entrepreneurship, but land, labor, capital cannot be useful if there is no one to ensure that the right decision on what to produce, when to produce, how to produce, and where to produce should be written or taken. So there must be someone who should take such decision, and this person we're talking about is an entrepreneur. Is an entrepreneur. He must be there to take this kind of decision. So what am I trying to say? And this leads us to the definition of entrepreneurship itself. You see, entrepreneurship doesn't have a generally acceptable definition. It is a term that is commonly used by all and sundry in our society today, but it doesn't have a generally acceptable definition. Although some scholars have tried to define it their own way. Now, we have a scholar like Joseph A. Schumpeter. He sees entrepreneurship as an innovative act. He defined entrepreneurship. That he introduced a theory called creative destruction theory. And this theory is being defined as the act of destroying the old economy for a far more progressed and modernized one. And this can only be done by the act of innovation. So we have other scholars who sees entrepreneurship as someone who bears risk to start up a business. There are so many definitions by scholars, and even the people on the street. If you should approach someone running a store or running a shop, what do you understand by entrepreneurship? You say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur because I own a shop. But that doesn't really mean that he is an entrepreneur. Running a shop doesn't make you an entrepreneur. There are other things that involve you becoming an entrepreneur. So, but however, there are different definitions for entrepreneurship. But to my own understanding and my own view, I feel and I believe that this definition I'm going to give you right now is going to go a long way for you to understand what entrepreneurship really is and how it is applicable in our society today. Now, entrepreneurship is just an act of identifying a business opportunity, bearing risk to combine the factors of production to produce goods and services that will satisfy individual want, organizational want, that will satisfy individual want and organizational want, and as well as creating wealth in our society today. But entrepreneurship is not just all about production. It also involves the act of adding value to what is already existing. There is nothing on earth today, there is nothing you're thinking about that other people are not thinking about it. But the only thing you need to do is to ensure that you make your own different. Your act of differentiating your product, adding more qualities to yours, will give you an edge, an advantage over others. That is the definition of entrepreneurship, and that leads us to the areas which entrepreneurship covers. Entrepreneurship is not just all about starting a business and running a business, as I earlier said, but it covers a lot of areas. We have entrepreneurial marketing, we have entrepreneurial finance, we have as I said, we have entrepreneurial finance, we have entrepreneurial human resource, we have entrepreneurial theories, we have entrepreneurial leadership. There are a lot of things that are involved in this entrepreneurship we're talking about. It's not just all about starting and running a business. And I want to bring to your attention that the basic source or the basic secret for any entrepreneurial success is innovation. Take it or leave it. That is just the secret. Your act of doing things differently from what other people are doing. That gives you an edge, a competitive advantage over others. So that leads us to how entrepreneurship works in our society today. In our society today, if you should look around what is happening, you must have heard or you must have seen that almost government of all nations are focusing their attention on developing entrepreneurship in their country. To us entrepreneurs, the only thing that differentiates developing country and underdeveloped country is strictly the number of entrepreneurs, the number and resourceful entrepreneurs that lives in that particular country. You can't compare the entrepreneurs living in America to entrepreneurs living in Nigeria here. So in our society, like I said, in Nigeria, there are a lot of people. I've met a lot of people with great ideas, but lack that courage to put these ideas into reality. So what am I saying? Like I said, the way entrepreneurship works in our society today, we are all humans, and we know that human needs or wants are unsatisfiable. You can never satisfy human being, no matter what you do. So there are a lot of things you need to do to satisfy human to your own at your own level. So a lot of things you need to do. There are a lot of opportunities in Nigeria here. Like I said, we are humans and we have ideas. We think. So you just have to look around you. What is it that other people are doing? What is it that people need? The services they need, but it is not rendered. You just have to look around you, ensure that these services are being created, create wealth, create satisfaction for these services, ensure that these things are around there. So how does this thing work in a society? We all come from a particular background, is education, or you have background, you have either you're educated or you have an experience. So these things will now lead you to this entrepreneurial concept we are talking about. Okay, from your education background or experience, will now give you an orientation on how businesses are being run, on how businesses are being established. So, and you have your own environment where you come from. What are the rules? What are the policies that favor entrepreneurship in Nigeria here? We know there are a lot of policies set up by federal government of Nigeria today that favors entrepreneurs. You just have to go out there, carry out a research, look around you. What is it that is lacking, and ensure that these things are being put into meaningful use. So there are a lot of things in our society. There are a lot of things you can do. There are a lot of things that makes you to be an entrepreneur. You don't just sit and imagine. You imagine. There are no limits to what you can imagine. You just imagine and ensure that these things come into reality. You imagine, it leads to idea, then you take a bold step to bring it out of you. Having an idea is already a seed stage. You are in a seed stage of a business. Then bringing it out is the startup stage of a business. So thank you for watching. I think this is just a brief background of what entrepreneurship really is. Then on my next video, you're going to see a lot of things, a lot of concepts, a lot of theories, sources of finance and other things that encompasses entrepreneurship. Thank you.